broadcasting live and streaming live as notifications are going out. But many of you are sometimes misdiagnosing your underlying condition. Remember, for every symptom, there's a cause, and many things can cause these. So what I'm excited about is that we're hopefully going to find something in here that I'm about to talk about that you're going to find that's going to make a big change. Hello, my chatters there. But I want you to really pay attention, because if you can listen to this and really understand it, maybe it's one change can make a whole difference in your entire life. You can just open up the door and be free again, pain-free. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Let's move on. First thing, as many of you know I talk about, forward head posture, rounded shoulders, #1 epidemic with neck and back pain. I want to bring out a few important things, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but if you look in the mirror and you look from the side and you see your ears are more forward, you are one of these kind of candidates. And there are many great videos I have on my channel, hundreds, but many great ones on forward head posture, rounded shoulders, pronation shoulders, and great exercises. But this is the big thing right here, the old smartphone. And if you're spending all this time on this smartphone, and I do it too, and I'm just as guilty as you are, I'm on my phone a lot, but I try to become very smart because of the fact I know the damage from experiences. But remember, try to get this smartphone up higher. Try not to keep this smartphone down when your head is hunched over. Your head weighs 12 pounds. For every inch it goes forwards, an additional 10 pounds. 2 inches, 32 pounds. 3 inches, 42 pounds. And if you do that cumulatively over the course of time, you're going to wear and tear the discs. You're going to have degeneration, osteoarthritis, spondylosis. You're going to start having problems into the arms, behind the skull, headaches, maybe tinnitus, maybe vertigo. A lot of people, I've been getting so much feedback on emails about giddiness, about, I'm not dizzy, but I'm just not clear. I just feel foggy. I think foggy is the best word. Forward head posture, fogginess go hand in hand. So what I've been to get in the habit of, that instead of just sitting up, let's say you're laying in bed, instead of propping up the pillow behind your head, lay in bed. Okay, I can't do it here, but pretend I'm laying back and put the phone up above your face and use it that way. Try to get in the habit that if you're going to spend time, many of you work on a computer or terminal, spend a lot of time writing, reading, try to get in the habit of jutting the chin down. Okay, if you jut the chin down, the ears are staying in line with the shoulder. Let's move forward. I want to move quick on this. The old mattress. Wow. This looked familiar. And I can tell you, when I grew up, I had one of these too. I'm guilty, okay? But I came from a very poor family, and this was my mattress. I always noticed when I changed those sheets, I hated looking at that mattress because it was just all kinds of colors on it. Sound familiar? And I know many of us have this right now. I will tell you that if you have a mattress that's sitting chronic for long periods of time, you need to do something about it, because if your body is starting to sag and the alignment is not straight with your head, your spine, and you're starting to sag and you have all this imbalance where the head's propped up, the butt's propped down, the stomach's moving upwards, and everything's not aligned, you're going to have problems. Remember, on your back or your side, knees slightly bent, pillow underneath the knees if you're on your back, pillow between the knees if you're on your side. On your stomach, if you can put your head face down, great, but most people can't. You have to turn your head to the side. Therefore, you're putting a lot of stress on the neck, muscles, ligaments, and particularly nerves, waking up with stiff neck and problems, and actually neurological problems as well. So you can be creative. Sometimes people say put a wooden board under there, but if you are having an old mattress, try to do your best on replacing it. Nothing can replace a good night's sleep. Moving forward, this, guys, you can just listen just for a second. I won't spend any time on this. Woman, a badly fitted bra. If you are not supporting the breast correctly, you got too much stress, too much tightness back on there, you're getting too much pulling on one side, it's going to obstruct your posture. Look at her shoulders. One shoulder is slightly a little higher than the other because the imbalance. It will affect the shoulder, will affect the posture. Make sure you're wearing a good bra. I will say no more on that. Let's move forward. Lack of exercise. This guy is exercising. With a ball under his elbow. He's pretending he's exercising. Actually, is what he's doing here. He's watching soccer on TV. He's kind of imagining, or has an imagination like, wow, I'm on that field and I'm running, I'm sweating. Well, he's sweating so hard he's drinking a nice cold beer. Maybe he's exercising, lifting his remote up, but I can tell you that you need to strengthen the core. You need to strengthen those buttocks muscles. You need to strengthen the rhomboid muscles between the shoulder blades. You need to really start doing these chin tucks, work on those rhomboids, work on the posterior shoulders. But most important, that core, those planks, the deep diaphragmatic breathing, holding in, pulling in your core, pulling in your gut, holding it to the spine like you're pulling your belly button back to the spine and holding it there for 5 seconds and relax and pulling your belly back and in again. That's working the transverse abdominis muscles. Those are going to help strengthen the core, because everything you do, from driving your vehicle, sitting up in a chair, from walking, standing tall, sitting tall, having good posture, you must have a strong core. A strong core is not the outside muscles of the abs. It's not the six-pack. It's the deep muscles, the transverse abdominis muscles that holds in everything together. It's kind of wearing like a support inside your body. You must have strong core muscles. Check out my channel. Check out other videos on strengthening core. Extremely important. The old poor diet. Yes, we all splurge for this one once in a while, and many of us do it much more than others, depending upon the type of world you live in or country you're in, or the more fast food or the type of work that you do. Many of you are in the car, many of you are rushing, many of you just are working 2-3 jobs. You don't have time to cook. You need to really strengthen your diet, because you are what you eat. I don't really want to spend too much time on this, but all the saturated fat, all these extra calories are putting on excessive weight, like this guy's little stomach right there. Okay, so you need to really make sure you are eating correctly, because that is your love of life. That is your blood. That is the cells. That is things repairing. That is things healing. Many of you out there have herniated disc, bulging disc, spondylosis, degeneration. Your body needs right nutrition. You need to make sure you're getting that. Okay, very, very important. I have many videos on that, but I don't want to really go into that in this particular program. I just wanted to make you more aware of it. Women, here's another thing for you, not guys. No, I take that back. Guys, this is for you too. Why? Because many of you wear those big suitcases and putting your computers in there and your travel bags. And women, your heavy purses, be very careful. If you're going to wear heavy purses, try to alternate shoulders, try to lighten up the weight. That's going to do a lot of stress. Let me tell you what it's going to do. It's going to take and it's pull down the shoulder. Okay, you have the brachial plexus right here, a group of nerves like this. And when it pulls down, you're stretching those nerves. You're stretching that irritation. You can start experiencing changes into the chest, tingling, numbness, cramping, burning, and actually it can start stretching and weakening the muscle. Remember that anything excessive on those nerves, this is a very delicate area. You need to be ultra careful. I understand you may look beautiful, but you need to take care of your spine. Here's another thing here. I need to get a new chair too. Now my chair doesn't look like this. All right, I'm exaggerating, but many people who spend so much time in the chair, make sure you have a good lumbar support. Okay, let me see if I can maybe pull this up. Here's a lumbar support. Okay, this goes on the lower part of my chair. If you don't have a support, you can use a rolled up towel or rolled up pillow. Make sure you get it behind you, your lower back. Use this while you're seated in a seated position. Even if you're driving, if you don't have a good lumbar support, what that's going to do is when you lean back on that support, it brings your shoulders back. You see, if I don't have a support and I sit like this, right now I'm slunched. It's impossible to really sit up tall for long periods of time, particularly if you don't have a strong core. And eventually what's going to happen is your back starts to flatten like this. Watch, this is my lower back flattening. So as my lower back flattens, my shoulders go forward. As the shoulders go forward, head goes forward. Now we're back in a forward head posture, and that's what's wearing and tearing. That's what's causing conditions of degeneration that's silent until one day you wake up, until the straw that broke the camel's back. Smoking, no good. Lack of oxygen to the discs. You're going to heal slower. You're putting toxins, poisons, hundreds of different poisons inside the bloodstream. It's causing vasoconstriction in the vessels, less blood supply, less nutrition. The discs do not even get the vascularity when we get older as it is. So if you're blocking off more than what it's already getting, you're looking for more potential problems. Obviously, I won't even talk about the other diseases that go hand in hand with this. That's not what we're here for. But I really would urge all of my listeners out there to really be aware that if you are smoking and you have a chronic back ailment, please get rid of your cigarette. I'll promise you, you'll do much better. Next thing is the old worn shoes. The old worn shoes are so important. Why am I bringing this out? If you look at your shoes, and most of us have this problem, believe it or not, it's called pronation. When we're standing up, our feet go inwards, and I'm going to show you in just a second. If you look at the outside of your shoes, you know when that you're wearing out your shoes on the outside, that means you're pronated, that means your arch has dropped, that means your feet are coming inwards like this. This is what it looks like, so you have a better idea. If you look to the left, you can see how it drops inwards. Okay, and as you wear a proper shoe or proper good support or an orthotic, you don't have to wear an orthotic, but if you have a good support or good shoes, it's so important because this is going to help your spine. Let's watch right here. This will show you, because as the arch drops, the knee kind of comes inwards, the hip comes inwards, and it starts developing this compensatory chain working its way all the way up to the spine, not only in the hips or the low back, but all the way up in the neck. So we'll see a lot of people out there who have one shoulder higher than the other, and it's coming all the way down from the feet. We have people who have chronic knee conditions or chronic low back problems who've been all around the world, taken all kinds of meds, been to every test in the world, and we start changing the foundation, the pedal foundation. Remember that what happens above always has to follow below. That's just the way gravity works. So if we can make correction from below, you can start seeing correction above by actually doing nothing. It's quite fascinating. And I really say that to all my listeners out there is because many of you search so deeply, spend so much of your hard-earned dollars trying to look for answers, and the answer could be sitting right in your feet. I just wanted to bring that out to my listeners out there. Very important. The old too much sugar. I wanted to mention a little bit about this. Conserving too much sugar elevates inflammation in the body, as well as causing insulin resistance, as well as weight gain. So I want to bring out to our people that this comes out to increase what we call AGEs, which is advanced glycation and end products. They're very harmful products that form when the protein and the fat combine with the sugar in the bloodstream, and too many of these AGEs leads to oxidative stress and inflammation. Now, everything in our body is linked to inflammation when it comes to degeneration, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, everything. So I urge people out there, if you're having chronic back pain, you need to cut the sugar out. I promise you that if you cut that sugar out and you are a sugar eater and you're saying, I'm not adding sugar, but you're eating lots of sugar. Look at the foods you're eating. Look at the ingredients. Look how many grams of sugar. Remember, for every gram of sugar, it's 4 calories. You can just add it up. So if you have 20 grams, that's 80 calories. So that's how you know you're computing it. And by the way, just to educate you, protein is the same amount of grams, same amount of calories per gram. So each gram of carbohydrate and each gram of protein is 4 calories. Each gram of fat is 9 calories. So it's over twice as much. So you have an understanding how to convert that into calories. And I believe I've talked about that in one of my videos in the past. Increasing gut permeability. People who have digestive issues understand the gut is so important because you start adding sugar. What's happening is the Candida albicans, yeast infections just go crazy. You look at cancer and you look at many of these types of diseases, they love sugar. They just thrive off of sugar. And you start starving these bacteria in your body, they're not going to start eating away. They're not going to start having this gut problem that's causing these undigested particles to occur because you're getting, like an auto intoxication because things aren't digesting properly. Sugar is really a poison. The other bad thing, it increases LDLs, and LDLs are associated with higher levels of C-reactive proteins. The CRPs, which is a marker for inflammation, which we quite check when you do your blood work, the CRPs obviously shows that there's inflammation going on somewhere in the body. And again, the most important thing is weight gain. Too much carbs or sugar obviously is refined carbohydrates. The other thing is that the glycemic index of sugar is boom off the sky, not good. That means we become more insulin resistant, and we're actually putting so much stress upon other hormones in our body and potential problems we're looking for in the future. Any last things I want to say about sugar? I do recommend if you are eating sugar, it's always good to have sugar with fiber because of the fact that fiber slows the assimilation of sugar. And obviously complex carbohydrates are good, better than simple carbohydrates, but the slower the sugar breaks down in our bloodstream, the less spike we're going to get and the less rebound we're going to get. Okay, because many of you will eat, and you'll notice after you eat the fast sugars, or the even your cakes, your donuts, whatever it is, you get this, wow, you feel great, and all of a sudden you get this. Sound familiar? I've been through it many times. I know what it's like, and it's real. Okay. The last but least I want to say for last is stress. Why? Because stress is a silent killer. Stress is just more than physical. You have emotional, you have chemical, and I understand the physical. Most of my patients, as well as subscribers and people who watch my videos, most people have physical stress, but I want to say something about physical stress. It goes hand in hand with emotional stress. Very seldom we have physical stress by itself. When I say that, because when we're in pain, and I'm sure many of you will agree with me here, we become very depressed. And we become very depressed neurologically, hormonally. We start going through a lot of different changes. Depression puts us in a corner where we don't want to associate with people. We don't want to eat correctly. We kind of lose hope in ourselves. Sometimes we want to give up. We say, well, why me? We go through these anxieties, these tensions, and the pressure. We really have to work towards stress, because I'll tell you that if you can handle stress, and many of you can, and many of you can't, and I've been through it myself. I remember going through school many years ago. I know the physiological effects of it. And it hurts. And I tell people out there's a lot of things you can do, like exercise, a good nutrition, speaking to friends, meditation, picking up hobbies. There's a lot of optimistic things that we can do within our life, and changing our belief system, changing our habits. And sometimes when we get put into that corner, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because stress and anxiety and panic all go together, I recommend every one of you to go see a doctor, get clearance, get your blood checked, get everything. And when he says you're healthy, you better walk out of the office and you better say, I'm going to live my life. I'm ready to live my life. I'm tired of this bull, S-H-I-T, and I'm ready to live my life. Because, stress really paralyzes people. Stress really ruins people. So I wanted to really, let you know how stress goes hand in hand with all diseases in the body. It weakens the immune system, but most important, it causes constriction and contraction of muscles. And when we're under stress and you have pain, your pain will become worse because it's affected a neurological system. It's not working smoothly, okay? So anyways, I really hope that this really hits a bell. And I think this is a great video, and I really enjoy doing it. When I do these videos, believe me, I learn as well, because what it does, it reminds me. It gets me back on purpose. There's so much that we do in our life that sometimes we become blinded, and sometimes we need to be reminded, because out of sight, out of mind. Anyways, I hope that you will subscribe and get many more of these videos like this. Check out my channel. Great self-help videos, great cutting-edge nutrition. Check me out, Motivational Doc, on Facebook. I would appreciate any reviews that you can leave there as well. But most important, I ask you to really make it a beautiful day. Many blessings to you and your family, and we'll catch up with you real soon. Bye-bye.